Recently things have not been good. I've been seeing things, like recently when I was in the bathroom brushing my teeth. After I was done, I walked to my bed and tried to sleep. And I could see a dark figure peeking out the bathroom. And I swear it was that thing. It reached out and hand at me before I quickly screamed and turned on the lights to see it was gone. Then my wife asked me what's wrong. I told her nothing. I couldn't tell her how I let that monster steal those kids from me because I was scared. Since the day I saw those pictures in that box, I feel like I've lost myself in theories and thoughts, going mad and seeing things that aren't real. My wife has been drifting away from me because of my insanity. I was going to leave the case at that and move on and wait for the next chance I could get, but then on the way back home I got a phone call. Apparently it was from the chief of police from Washington, D.C. Somehow, I don't know how, but they found out about the missing people in the house. He said he wants to find someone in exchange who would give me answers. I was desperate for answers, so I agreed, and he told me his name was Alexander. He told me to go to the basement and find a tape. I found the tape and it made me even more traumatized than I was before. But I noticed there was more text at the end with the scary imagery. I found the text, "Please, I need you." What on earth does that mean? Do they want something from me? Do they want me to become a sacrifice as well? I still remember the tape from before that had all those names flashing on the screen. Oh god, I still have nightmares remembering that. Suddenly, the police officer's door opened. It was Alex. He had blonde hair and slightly bigger ears than normal, but other than that, he was basically any other normal guy. He walked into my office and saw my walls.
Wow, you've definitely been on this case for a while, haven't you?
Yeah, I've had it, I told him.
Wow, I'm surprised you have so much free time with all these strings and sticky notes everywhere.
I'm surprised he would even care I screamed back at him.
Whoa, don't be hostile. I'm here to help you, not make things worse.
How do you even hear about this case?
Well, actually, it was because of this.
He gave me a tape with the writing, Super Lake Park training tape. How did this tape give you the idea about the things in that house?
Well, watch the tape.
I began watching it and it was pretty normal until they mentioned something about a venom. Then Alexander interrupted.
That plant was only near that place, but in the past few years, it has spread to other states nearby.
I was a bit shocked, but wanted to see more. I continued watching the tape, and there would be cuts to someone walking in the forest. But the thing that really scared me, people who sniffed it would just walk in the forest, never to be seen ever again. Which explains how all the names in the tapes got captured. It was because of the people sniffing this plant. And then they say everything is fine before mentioning someone in blue was the one planting these plants. Suddenly the screen goes nuts with text. It was his fault. Flashes over and over. Before showing a guy running away from the monster before being attacked off screen. Then Alexander tells me,
There's also another tape we recovered from your investigation. Jimmy found this.
It was a cassette tape, and I quickly sprung up and popped that in the cassette player. After hearing it, I quickly realized that the hallway they suddenly appears was much more important and dangerous than I could have imagined. Then Alexander began his talk.
During the training tape here, there's a map of Super Lake Park Trail. You see that red spot? They're hiding something, and they could be the link that connects everything to this whole thing.
So what do you think we should do? Respond.
Well, I know this is something most officers probably do, but never tell. We're gonna break in and find that red spot. Luckily, considering it's a trail park, it's pretty hard for security at night to watch everyone.
You seem to know a lot about breaking and entering, I mumbled.
Well, I was at once a kid, duh. Now grab me some supplies, we're about to get to the bottom of this. Meet me near the entrance to the lake park.
Got it, I told him back. Eventually I met him near Super Lake Park.
You brought the supplies?
Alexander asked me. Yeah, I got them right here. I threw some rope over the rear trail entrance. Once we got inside, we quickly began looking for the closed-off trail. Surprisingly, there was no guards there. It was like we were probably the only ones at the gate. Surprisingly, most of them were at the front gate instead. We continued walking through the forest when I suddenly turned my head towards the noise and I saw a little girl in a blue dress. I quickly ran up and asked her, "Little girl, we're not supposed to be here, especially not after hours." Then Alexander screamed,
Dude, what are you doing?
I turned him confused and disgusted. how he couldn't see this poor little girl and help her. But then as I turned back, the girl was just gone. I sprung back on the floor, heavily breathing.
Jeez, did that tape traumatize you this much?
Alexander said. I got up and looked him dead in the eye. Do you know how it feels letting innocent people to be killed by a monster and knowing it's your fault? He looks down and back angrily.
No, Terrance, I don't know how that feels.
Then he walks off. I could tell he could relate and understand what I'd been through. Maybe he's hiding something much more important than I could have possibly thought. Eventually we made it to the hidden trail, and there was a bunch of green flowers everywhere. But they were very bright, then Alexander says,
Cover your nose. If you smell them, you will never be seen again.
I made sure to hold my nose as tight as I could. We both ran forward until the plants were gone. Once we were safe, we were able to find something shocking. A dimly lit cabin with the door swinging right open. Me and Alexander quietly moved to the cabin door. The cabin seemed old and rotting, but it was a weird version of rotting. It wasn't green or brown. Instead it was blue. Me and Alexander peeked inside, and inside was a room full of voodoo dolls. Some looked newer than others. I was super confused of how they were here, but I noticed one of the dolls had the same shoes of Anthony and Rumi.
Alexander said, This must be where they keep track of all their victims. There must be a code here. No, it's just a room filled with dogs.
We tried looking around for any clues. The only thing we could find was a blank table. Suddenly, Alexander had an idea.
Terrance, do you remember the tape that broke? The one with the names?
And suddenly it came to my realization. If I could put the dolls in order, maybe it will open. Anthony, Ruben, Josh, Eon, Henry, Houston, Cy, Kyle, Stacy, Sharon, Michaela, Michaelism, Neil, Ralph, Norman. But the last one wasn't there. Alex, there's no Carrie here.
Are you sure? That's one of the names.
He responded. Yes, I'm 100% sure, I told him. I began to realize maybe that Carrie's name was shown differently compared to everyone else. That must mean she was important to whatever is going on. Maybe she's the thing that the photo was talking about when they said mommy.
Hey, Terrance, you might want to see this.
Alexander pointed. He was pointing to one of the dolls in pure black, with wide eyes, like the thing I've seen before. But my main question was, what made her so different? She seemed not human like the others, and appears as a thing. Maybe she's the creator of whatever that thing is, and that's why her name was read in the tape. Anyway, we put the doll at the end of the row, and nothing happened. Then Alexander tried putting it instead of the beginning of the row, and suddenly an elevator door from the wall looking old and rusty with spiderwebs everywhere opened up. Me and Alexander knew it was time to go. When we got to the back, it looked like a maze. Pitch black hallways, which was appeared in an old facility. We quickly split up. I would look east and he would look west. We both used radio to communicate down there. As I roamed the halls looking for a room, I heard footsteps, not new footsteps. Familiar footsteps. The ones I hear in my nightmares. The ones I remember. I quickly ran to a room and slammed it. But it definitely attracted company, because I could hear the big footsteps coming closer and closer until it was at my door. I looked it through the window, but the room was pitch black, so I used it to my advantage and hid right next to the door. The thing walked. As I peeked out, I could tell what it was. It was the thing, but it didn't have fingers on its head, and the shape of it was different. It's so weird. All I knew is that thing was still much more dangerous than I could imagine. Son heard an announcement.
Hello, pupils. Everyone meet up at room 532. I repeat, every pupil head to room 532.
I was super confused on what on earth is a pupil. But that didn't matter. I immediately looked at what room I was in. Room 749. Yikes, the room I have to head to is 101. Suddenly I get a flash of something. I'm in a little girl's room. And I'm tucking the little girl into her bed or something. And then she says to me,
Tell me a scary bedtime story.
I all I can really do is watch as I say,
Oh really? Are you sure you can handle it?
Of course.
and then I start reading Nightcrawlers.
My bones are rattling, my teeth grinding, my heart pounding, the tree limbs thumping, the world spinning, everything is in motion. And all you can think about is what may be in the dark. Little creatures, so small and dark. Big old creatures, so scary and strong. And the one creature that runs through, you like it because it causes pain to clear a hole in the entire body. Creeper crawlers still alive. Back to haunt the dead or alive. Now it will get you, whether or not you're alive.
Suddenly I hear a loud bang from the hole. Then I hear,
Please, save me.
as I turn back and see in the bed is the thing! Before suddenly waking up out of the flash I just had, when I suddenly hear footsteps in the shadows. Then out of the shadows comes out
Scared.
a zombified version of Ruben and Anthony. Ruben's jaw was hanging and hair has been ripped off as his leg has been torn like it was in a blender. And Anthony had an eye sticking out of its socket. His arms were twisted like noodles, and his neck and mouth has been broken, giving off a creepy smile. They also smell like they came from the monster's mouth, like what happened to them in the tape, when they both started chanting
Why did you let us go? We hit that bad.
over and over again. As they keep moving closer and closer, I started to panic and scream, "Go away, leave me alone!" Jumping out of the room, running for my life, trying to get away as the words repeat over and over in my mind. Suddenly I run past the thing that shook me to my core. I saw an army of those things, all worshipping a figure in the middle. I could tell it was a statue, the Blue Man, but I could only tell the hat and the suit that was the Blue Man. His face was still covered. I stopped running to see this thing. I also noticed someone else was there. More like someone.
Quiet, everyone. There is a reason why I called you all here. As you know, when our plan is complete, the world will be saved. But that date is coming up very soon. Tomorrow, March 10th, will be the beginning of a new age, where our great savior will save us all. He is none other than Abbott, the leader of the Oculus organization. Quiet, everyone. Recently, someone has broken inside here tonight. It's been caught on camera, and if you see these disgusting humans, then you shall sacrifice them to the Oculus. Everyone, go get him!
Suddenly a red alarm was sent out to the entire facility. I quickly ran for my life until big footsteps were on my tail. I turned and saw 3 of those things chasing me. As I'm running, I need to check what room I'm nearby. I'm currently near 203 at this point. When I noticed there was a block away, 3 more of those things were blocking my path, forcing me to run and maneuver around them. Luckily, I was able to keep my current path. It would also shriek this terrible sound and multiple of them at the same time, made me trembling with fear. Eventually, I lost them as I reached room 101. Once I entered the room, I saw Alexander already there. Alexander!
Hey, where were you, man?
This place is like a cult. They sacrifice people to the monster and think of some guy named Abbott. Alexander suddenly stopped and turned to me,
Shut up before someone hears you!
screaming at me. Afterwards, I asked him, "Where's the thing we came here for?"
It's this.
He points at the computer, but I notice that it needs a password to enter. What is it exactly? I asked him.
It's Alpha.
Alpha?
Affirmative Life Protection Held app. It's when I need to talk to someone who can help us, but we need a password. Unfortunately, I don't have it.
So we came through all this hell for nothing? I screamed. Then Alexander turns and screams, "You have not experienced hell!" Suddenly silence.
If you did, you wouldn't be giving up so easily. Now, there might be a chance of the password at the house on Conbelt Road.
What? I screamed. You expect me to go back to there that nightmare?
We have no choice. If we're going to get answers and stop this madness, we're going to have to go where it all began.
He told me. I started laughing. You're crazy if you think I will ever go back there. He then turns to me.
It's either that or you die.
I would rather die than go back there, I told him. Suddenly we heard a banging on the door.
Follow me or die, he screams as the room flashes red. Afterwards, about 5-10 seconds, he grabs my arm and runs out of the room through the back entrance. And we quickly run to the elevator as I turn around and see dozens of the white blankless eyes, with long dark limbs stretching and moving on the ground. As we quickly run, the screams in my heads, and the sounds of their shrieks echoes through the halls. Eventually, we finally find the elevator, and we run in the elevator. But remember, when I said it was an old elevator, it took 5 seconds to close. As I saw the monsters come closer and closer, sprinting towards us, I was afraid I would be mauled and killed. Then, I see this creature from earlier leading the pack. It screams, "Stop!" Then one of the monsters stick their arm through the door, right as it close to the elevator. And as the elevator moved up, the arm was ripped off. But the monster didn't scream, it didn't feel pain. I look at Alexander, and as he looks at me, we both give each other a high five, and I thank you for saving my life. But then he tells me, when we get out of here, we're going to go to the house, and you're going to face your fears once and for all to end this. We get out of the elevator, and we ran towards the house, and eventually we find it. I could tell it was the same old rotting, decaying hellhole I've seen before. We both stand at the front, because it's wide open. And Alexander says, "Stick together, especially here." "Right," I respond. We move into the living room first. It looked the same as last time. The stag on TV was on. The same old toys were on the floor, and rotting food in the house. Then suddenly I got attacked by the thing. I grabbed a fork nearby and tried to stab it in its head, but then it went past through it and I stabbed my own arm. And it hurt hard. I had to hold back in a scream of pain. And when the thing was gone, Alexander said, "What, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? How broken are you?" And I responded to him, "Once you can't save anyone, can you even save yourself?" Then he responds with words I have not forgotten. "The only reason you would ever say that if you lost everything. You still have something. Some people have nothing. Be grateful while you still can." I stopped running and continued looking with Alex. We eventually made it upstairs. As I enter the little girl's room, I get the last vision. I am in the bed with the same little girl from earlier in front of me, and she says,
I gotta help him, or else bad things will happen.
"Who?" I asked the little girl.
The man in blue. Goodbye, Terrance.
Then she runs into the hallway. I scream, "Wait, stop!" I ran towards her, but the more I kept running after her, the more the world turned more and became more and more dark, until I can't see where I'm running. Suddenly the thing stands in front of me and says, I suddenly wake up. Seems like I napped on the floor for a bit. I get up before I suddenly notice the same voice of the little girl saying,
Quickly hide under the bed.
Before I could understand what's going on, I hear big footsteps coming closer and closer, so I hide. It could have been one of those things I've seen before, but it was the same one from the broken tape. After the thing leaves, I come out and hear her say,
You want answers, right? I promise those answers, and much more if you help me. I understand you are scared, alone, afraid of sins of yours. And these house odors, all I ask you to do is simply find the remaining book.
I began to believe what Alexander said. I am definitely going crazy. This is just a hallucination. None of this is real. I'm just losing my mind. I feel like I'm not even human anymore. Like I'm a ghost instead. But then the little girl says, same voice.
If you don't listen to me, you will die like your friend already.
I quickly ran downstairs, screaming for Alexander around the house, before finding Alexander's pen on the floor in the kitchen and hearing the same voice again.
Find the book, or else you will never get the answers to save many more poor people.
I realized I have no choice but to find the pages, and I quickly looked into the toy room, where I found the first of the pages. I found page 11. Page 11.
I tell mom and dad, even my brother, but they think I'm all crazy, dreaming and lying.
Then I find page 12 in the kitchen.
Page 12, then the blue man comes to my window. He told me what will happen if I don't help him.
Then I find the next page near the window where the kids were taken. Page 13.
I tell my family goodbye, but they still think I'm lying.
I found page 14 in the living room. Page 14.
I go out in the spooky woods alone. It's dark.
Then I found page 15 near the front door. Page 15.
I find Georgie here, too, and he brought a bag.
Then I find page 16 near the entrance of the back of the stairs. Page 16.
But the bag was moving, so I ask him, what's in it?
Then I find page 17 on the floor near the kitchen. Page 17.
The blue man told me I needed it.
Then I suddenly hear heavy breathing and bones crackling. I build up the courage to turn around, and I see the thing fully in person again. This time it had the face of the boy from the story. It had toes on its head instead of fingers, and I was out for my blood. I quickly ran from the monster as it chased me down. Also, I would close the door behind, but it would just bust right through them. I was panicking. Is this really where my life ends? Killed by the same thing that ended so many other lives? Oh, it's pretty fitting, right? I guess this is it. But then I remember what Alex said. Maybe I do have a purpose. Maybe I am important. Maybe I am the man who will save the world from this monster. And maybe it's time to fight back. I quickly grabbed the fork from earlier and stabbed the thing right in his head. It screamed out a loud, painful scream, but it was still chasing me, and it was faster now than earlier. I was running out of breath. I don't know how much more I could take of this. Then I suddenly hear the same voice from earlier. Without time to think, I quickly jump in the basement and I shut the door tight. And then I fall down the steps and I find page 18. Page 18.
Then the blue man came out.
Then right next to it was page 19.
He says follow Tim to the special spot.
Eventually I wait a bit until the thing was gone. After hearing its footsteps go away, I get out and check and there's nothing there. When I get to the kitchen, tiptoeing my way through this silent hellhole, I suddenly hear a thing drop on the floor. It was a butter knife. Then I turn around to make sure there was nothing behind me. I walk towards the stairs. I see through the shadow of the front door, there was a shadow of a person. But as soon as I say, hello, the shadow transformed into the monster as it shrieked the same terrible sound like it was saved on a memory tape in my head. I quickly ran up the stairs and then I finally see with my own eyes the hallway. The clean, nice looking one in everyone's last sight, where every one of the monster's victims last saw. I knew I should not go in there, but as the screeching coming closer and closer and closer, and all the rooms upstairs for some reason being locked, I had no choice. I quickly sprinted the door and opened it, and quickly jumped inside and closed the door. I took a breath in after escaping from that monster, but then realized in the cassette tape in the room, this room didn't exist. The guy in the Norman said in the video there's nothing in here before being brutally mauled. So how come there's a room now? Then I suddenly find the remaining pages all in one place, which means I finally get to the end of the story. Page 20.
We followed him and find Jack on the symbol.
Page 21.
We asked, why is Jack there? The blue man says he has done bad pain and has to pay a little bit.
Page 22.
He grabs a knife from the bag.
Page 23.
He cuts a little on his arm as Jack screams.
Page 24.
The ground shakes a lot. Then something comes out of the ground.
Page 25.
A one-eyed monster comes out and grabs Jack.
Page 26.
It eats his legs first, then his arms, and then one final bite.
Page 27 I noticed was a bit different with handwriting, because it was different in handwriting and now it was in blue. The poor kids tried to run away, but I quickly made them go to sleep. Page 28. But their story is not over now. You will help me save the world. Showing the same white eyes of the monsters. And then through the shadows a voice talks.
Did you collect them all?
Yes, I have.
So you finally know.
The big footsteps comes out of the shadow. And it's the original thing! The original one!
We weren't always like this.
A spotlight shines from the ceiling, showing the thing.
We were just like you. Now we're alone. And this place is our hell. servants of sins. The world sees us as demons from hell, the same way you do, but you are wrong. We used to be spirits, but then turned into demons, getting worse. Man, worse than the devil. We are forced to do these sins, whether we want to or not. My mother tried to save us, but she made a deal which sealed our demise. Don't you remember when I left that room? The same night you tucked me in bed.
No.
Do you remember me telling you goodbye? Why didn't you stop me?
The monster punches the wall and turns on the light and reveals my room. And then everything comes back to me. This is my room. I lived here. But that means...
Yes, we came from the same place, but ended up with two completely different outcomes.
You're lying. All this is fake.
If you're still in denial of everything that happened, and it makes sense, the truth holds more than anything in life. We're running from the past, will only bring nightmares. Now, do you want me to show you the truth?
I tried opening the door, but it was locked. I quickly closed my eyes as I realized I either die or I know the truth before I die. I have nowhere to run. I'm trapped in here. Dark and lonely room. I can't believe I've been related to this tragedy since the very beginning. And all I can say is, yes, show me.
Close your eyes. This nightmare will end. I promise.
So you got the code?
Yes, I do. But I have a question. Why are you helping me?
Let's just say me and him know each other. And I know he must pay.
Let's go. Shall we? Before the earthquake happens.
Hey everyone, it's me, Nightmare Planet. I thank you all waiting super long for this. A lot of stuff has happened these past 2 weeks, leading to insane work times and sacrifices. Also, every drawing in this video was made with a small mouse pad, which is probably why it was so hard to make this. I hope you all enjoyed this amazing third part to the Alignment Chapter series. Soon I will be making much more content that's not just creepypastas. I will do more monster and arsonists. I'll be also doing more music and theories in the future. If you want more creepypastas, then like and subscribe. I understand that some videos have been re-uploaded mainly because my old account not working anymore. Anyway, if you would like to send your creepypasta, then send it through me to the about section. It will save me a lot of time, and maybe your creepypasta will be the best one on the channel. And if you like this video, then share it with your friends to scare them. Anyway, as always, good night everyone. Sweet dreams.